What's up, all my fitness junkies? I'm Chelsea, the Pilates junkie. 1, thank you for tuning into my channel. 2, this video is all about, you guessed it, abdominals. 15 to 20 minutes only, that you can do it from your home. And we're going to be strengthening, toning, and really feeling that abdominal core connection that everybody wants. Come follow me, the Pilates junkie. Let's do it. All right, everyone, let's start by laying on our back on our mat with our knees into our chest. This is called a rest position in Pilates. So once you get there, grab onto your shins and pull them into your chest. It will help you release in your low back. I like to say it's like giving yourself a little Pilates hug. Couple things before we move on. This video is a little bit slower than my usual pace because this is an abdominal exercise video for beginners. So let's get started. Extend one leg long down in front of you, then the other, and let's just have our arms, palms facing up, long by our side, and just take a couple of deep inhales and deep exhales. This is going to help you really focus on what is to come. One more big deep breath. And let's bend our legs. Bring one foot on the ground and then the other. And let's have our feet as wide as our hips and our hands on our hips as well. So as you're laying here, you should have a little low space below the low back. This is called your neutral spine. So on an exhale breath, I want you to scoop your abdominals in deep to imprint the low back into the mat. And then as you inhale, you go back to that neutral spine. And again, on your exhale, scoop the abdominals deep, imprinting the low back, and then inhaling to come to your start position. Now keep going from me, so exhale. As you're doing this, try not to push from the feet. This is all abdominals, so really scoop and engage your abdominals deep in order to do this. And back to center. And again, relaxed in the shoulders here. We scoop deep, engage those abdominals, pull your low back into the mat, and then we inhale. The hips rock forward. So now let's glue our legs together. Let's have our palms facing up. We're going to do some knee drops. The further away your hands are from the body, the more support you have, but I'll have my arms a little bit closer to the body. Again, palms facing up or relaxed in the shoulders. Legs glued together. Take an inhale and drop your knees to the right. And exhale to the top. We inhale, drop them to the left. And we scoot the abs in deep to bring them to the top. And again, so we inhale, we drop our knees to the right. And we exhale to the top. We inhale to the left. And we scoop the abdominals in deep as we come to the top. So again, as we're dropping them to the right, keep your shoulders square and planted into the mat. And then exhale, draw your abs in to bring it to the top. Drop your knees to the left. Now, as you're dropping your knees to the left, your right foot picks up off the ground. And as you drop your knees to the right, your left foot picks up off the ground. We're keeping that low space below the back as we drop them to the left, keeping the knees at the same height the entire time. Good. So we'll move on to leg slides. So keep your legs glued together like you have one leg. We still have that low space below the low back. Let's extend our leg out long, our left one, and then we'll pull it back up to where it's at. Extend the right leg out long, and then we pull it back up to where it was. So I like to inhale as my leg extends out, so drag your heel across the mat. And as you exhale, scoop the abs in deep and then pull it back up to the top. Again, on the right side, exhale deep to pull it back up to the top. So we're relaxed in the shoulders and the hands, but palms are facing up. Inhale to extend the left leg. We scoop the abs in deep, so pull the belly button to the spine as you bring it back to a bent position. And again, on our right side, drag the heel across the mat, and then you drag it to pull it back up to the top. Drag your left foot across the mat for a long leg, and then you scoop the abs in deep, squeeze those legs together as you drag it to the top. Again to the right, squeeze those inner thighs together as you drag your leg back to the top. And we're all done with leg slides. Let's go into some toe taps. So bring our feet and our knees about hip distance apart, palms facing up, nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Little space below the low back. Let's take an exhale breath to bring the left leg to tabletop. Now, your shin should be parallel to the ceiling. We inhale as we lower the foot towards the ground, and then we exhale to lift. And keep going for me here as I give you a couple of cues. Make sure you're not bending from the knee and you're hinging from your hip joint. So like your knee is frozen, you inhale to lower and you exhale, scoop the abs in deep to lift. And again, we inhale to lower, we exhale, scoop the abs in deep to lift. Take an inhale breath, lower, scoop the abs in, pull the belly button back to lift. Let's take an inhale here, pause. Exhale, lift the right leg to tabletop and lower your left leg down on an inhale. Inhale, let's drop the right foot to the ground. And again, we scoop the abs in deep to bring it back to tabletop. So again, scoop the abs in deep. Our leg is not bending from the knee, but hinging from the hip joint. So like your knee is frozen, don't bend that knee. It's very common too, so don't worry if you're not getting it right away. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift, and again, scoop the abs in deep. Make sure you have that little low space below the low back. Inhale here, pause, and exhale, bring the opposite leg to tabletop, and we bring the legs in. We circle the knees out side to side, and we'll get ready for some chest lift. Exercise is very different from a crunch, so let's set up the body so we do it correctly. Feet are about hip distance apart, knees are about hip distance apart. Place the hands, cup them behind the bowl of the head. You should have that low space below the low back. We're in a neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Lift the elbows up about 2 inches. You don't want to pop the chest out. Let's take an exhale. We lift the head, lift the chest, looking at the belly. We inhale at the top, and then we lower on an exhale. Inhale at the bottom. We exhale to lift, so scoop the abs in, lift the head, lift the chest, looking at the belly. And we lower. And we lift on an exhale. Try not to tuck your tail, so don't imprint the low back. Keep that low space below the low back. And we lower. Relaxed in the legs. We exhale to lift. We pause. We take an inhale breath. We exhale and we lower. Now keep going for me. I know this is a lot of breath patterns, so that's okay if you're not getting it right away. Just as long as you're breathing, that's totally okay. And again, we exhale, we scoop the abs in deep, so pull that belly button back to the spine. Shoulders are away from the ears, so drop those shoulders, and we lower. And we lift. Keep that low space below the low back. The tail loves to tuck here. And lower. Relax for one moment before we get into some chest lift with a rotation. So same thing, but a little different. Feet about hip distance apart, knees about hip distance apart, elbows up slightly. Lift the head, lift the chest, looking at the belly. We twist to the left, back to center, and then we lower. So again, we lift, drop those shoulders away from the ears, they love to creep. We twist to the right, back to center, wide elbows, and we lower. So exhale, you lift. Keep that low space below the low back as you twist to the left. Keep those elbows wide, shoulders down. Back to center, and we lower. And we exhale to lift. We pause, drop those shoulders, twist to the right, wide elbows, and we lower. So lift the head, lift the chest, looking at the belly, wide elbows. Keep your knees where they're at and your hips where they're at as you twist. And back to center. So your lower half should be completely stable. We exhale, pull that belly in deep. As you twist to the right, drop those shoulders. Back to center, and we lower. Great, everyone. Bring one knee into your chest, then the other. Give yourself that little Pilates hug. We're going to move into single leg stretch. Now, I'll show you the movement before we lift the head, lift the chest. So go ahead and look at me for 1 second. Take both hands and place them on your left shin. Your opposite leg extends straight up to the ceiling. I'm going to do my leg to a diagonal, but for beginners, keep your leg straight up towards the sky. We're going to switch legs, so grab your shin on the other side and extend the opposite leg towards the ceiling. And we switch. So now let's add the head and the chest. Go ahead and follow me. So exhale to lift, extend your leg up to the ceiling, grabbing onto your left shin with both hands. We switch legs, switch hands, switch legs, switch hands. So keep going. You should be curled up, looking at the belly the entire time, shoulders away from the ears, and we really pull that shin toward our chest. And switch. Scoop those abs in deep and switch. And both knees in, and we relax. Good, everyone. So next one is double leg stretch. Similar but different. I'll show you the movement first. For my beginners, arms and leg go straight towards the sky. We circle the arms around, and then we gather the knees back in. Arms and legs shoot out straight up, circle the arms out, and we gather the knees back in. I'm going to do a diagonal with the arms and legs and circle the arms. I gather my legs back in. So my abs are in deep here as I scoop to come back in. So everyone, let's lift the head, lift the chest. Take an inhale breath as you shoot the arms and legs up towards the ceiling, circle the arms, and then gather the knees. Stay lifted here. Drop the shoulders. Look at that belly button. And arms and legs shoot out. Circle the arms around and gather the knees in. Inhale out. Exhale, gather the knees in. Scoop, scoop, scoop. And inhale out. Exhale in. Drop those shoulders. Scoop those abdominals in. Squeeze those legs together. And let's roll down. Rock the head no. It likes to tense up in these types of exercises. The next exercise we'll be doing is called lower lift. So everyone follow me. I want you to take your hands, put them in a little diamond shape, and place them underneath your tailbone. If I were with you, I should be able to see your fingertips right below your tailbone. Bend one knee into your chest and then the other, and you should feel supported by your hands underneath you. I'll show you the leg movement first before we lift the head. Legs go straight up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the legs together as we lower halfway, and we lift. And we lower, and we lift the legs. And you can only do an inch if you want. It doesn't have to be super low. Don't arch in the back during this exercise. So let's lift the head, lift the chest on an exhale. Legs go straight up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the legs together as you lower about an inch. And we lift. I like to inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Now, you should be curled up during this exercise the entire time. If you're having neck troubles, though, you can have the head down. And lift. And lower. Look at that belly button the whole time. Drop those shoulders. And we lower the legs, squeeze them together, and lift. Arms come out, knees come into your chest, and we're all done with that. Just a couple of those is just already burning, right? So, take your hands, place them behind your thighs, and let's rock up to sit. So now we should be sitting on our sits bones, those two little bones that you feel in your booty. Our knees are bent. Our feet are hip distance apart. Our knees are hip distance apart. Hands behind the thighs, gripping lightly. Shoulders are wide and down away from the ears. Abs are engaged, and we're sitting up tall. So hands behind the thighs, take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, I just want you to tilt your pelvis back to start. And then roll your pelvis back up, stacking the spine tall. And again, we tuck the tail, we scoop the abs in deep to tilt the pelvis back, then we curl forward to stack the spine. One more time. So essentially we're rocking the pelvis back, curving the spine, and then we rock it forward to sit up tall. Now let's add to this exercise. So sitting up tall, hands behind the thighs. Inhale first. We exhale to tilt the pelvis back just like before. Now we lower the spine to the mat until you feel your abdominals shaking. Pause, we inhale, then we exhale to rock forward and stack the spine. So inhale first, exhale, like you got sucker punched in the stomach, you roll the spine back. It's okay if your feet lift up slightly. Drop the shoulders, inhale at the bottom, and then we exhale forward to curl up and stack the spine. So one more time before we do a variation. Exhale, scoop the abs in deep like someone sucker punched you in the stomach. Lower the spine toward the mat. Inhale at the bottom, curl forward and stack your spine. Drop the shoulders. So variation. We exhale, roll the pelvis back, tilt that tail. Hands go out in front of you. Give me 8 little crunches towards your knees. 7, 6, squeeze those abs, drop those shoulders. 2, 1 here, just kidding, and hands behind the thighs, you curl up just like before and sit up tall. So one more time, we scoop the abs in back like we got sucker punched in the stomach. We roll the spine back towards our mat. We take the hands off. We do 8 pulses towards the knees. Shoulders down, 8, 7, scoop those abs in deep. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands back behind the thighs. Scoop the abs in deep as you rock forward. Stack your spine, sit up tall. That's enough, right? Extend the legs long, fold over the legs, grab your ankles, your feet, your calves, wherever you can reach. Drop the head heavy and just pull yourself for a second. We have our legs long out in front of us. Let's flex the feet like we're standing on the floor, and the feet should be about hip distance apart for some spine twist. Bend the knees if you can't sit straight up on your sits bones. Let's have our hands on our shoulders. We're sitting up tall with a nice wide open chest. We're going to take an inhale breath as we twist to the left on an exhale breath. And back to center. We twist to the right and back to center. Now as we twist to the left, make sure our bottom half is extremely stable. So don't move the feet, don't move the knees, don't move the hips. Twist like you're wringing out a washcloth and then back to center. And I like to exhale as we twist to really scoop the abs in deep, drop the shoulders, and back to center. And we twist, keep the feet flexed here. They like to fall out. And twist to the left, squeeze those abs, back to center, and we twist to the right, keep the elbows wide. And we're all done. Fold over the legs. Rock side to side and wiggle those legs, shake them out slightly. All right, let's sit with a crisscross position facing the camera or facing me. And let's get into some lateral flexion stretches. So take a deep inhale, arms go out to the side. Place one hand on the floor as the other one lifts and reaches over to the side. Make sure there's energy through those fingertips. We exhale at the top, then we inhale and exhale to the other side. Now just follow me as I speak. So this was my 15-minute ab video. I know it's a lot for beginners. It's a lot of breath, mind-body connection. But as you go on with Pilates, this will come like second nature to you. Also, my fitness junkies, tell me what you liked about the video. Tell me if you would like to know things about myself, things you'd like to know about Pilates. And I definitely want to see you here next time on our next mat session for beginners. I had a beautiful time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.